All right, the next piece we're going to build is the side of our frame for our tic-tac game. So again, I'm going to start with this kind of profile, extrude it up, and then we'll have to come back and add the holes. Okay, the overall dimensions let's get are 4 inches, and then again a 1/4 inch of kind of width for that piece of wood. And then we'll extrude it 1 inch. So think 4 1/4 and 1. Okay, so we are going to sketch, and we're going to model this in place, kind of how it would be positioned relative to this end piece. Okay, so I'm going to start on the top plane again. I'm going to rotate that normal to my view, and then that piece kind of notches around that, if you will. We can go back to the assembled view if that helps too. So you see, so it's going to be thinner here the way it overlaps, so that 4 inches is going to start right in line with that edge of the end piece of the frame, and the overall is going to be 4 inches, but we're going to have this little notch, which is also called a rabbet. So this is going to come over here 1/2 of a 1/4 inch, which is 1/8 of an inch, or 0.125. And then we're going to go vertical and make sure I get the little vertical constraint and be 4 inches up. And then I'm going to cut over 1/8 of an inch. And then this is going to come down a 1/4 inch. This will come back out another 1/8 of an inch before it kind of shoots all the way down. And I can actually use that geometry. It's going to hit right there. It's going to hit that corner, come down to here. Kind of change my zoom level. Okay, so there you go. I've got a closed region. This dimension, though, I didn't take my 2 when I typed in 1/4, so let me change that. All right, now we have what are called dados, those little notches for the other divider pieces that are going to go in. And so right there, those little grooves that are going to be cut out are called dados. And let's figure out where they're at dimensionally. So they have a width of a 1/4 inch. And then right here, this dimension kind of lets us know that that 1/4 inch overall thickness is divided into 1/8 and 1/8. So we want 1/4 by 1/8 for those cutouts. And it's 1 inch from the end of the rabbet to there, and then 1 inch between them. So I'm just going to use my rectangle tool. I'm going to make a rectangle that's the correct dimensions, which is going to be 0.125 and 0.25. And I'm not sure why I didn't. I think it already had that constraint, so it was over constrained because it kind of latched on. Alright, so the blue tells me that this thing's still movable, and so we'll use our dimension tool to dimension this in place from here. That had to be 1 inch. Alright, and then the next one is going to be 1 inch from that one. So it doesn't really want me to give that dimension. There you go. And then that should be 1 inch right there, and I can test that if I leave the dimension tool on and just test this. It's going to be over constrained, so it's not going to really want me to place. Oh, I got the wrong one. From here all the way to here should be 1 inch, and it is. I'm going to hit escape because I don't need it. Everything's black. So we're going to finish our sketch. We're going to choose extrude. And like that, we'll make sure it's going the correct direction. It's going to be 1 inch. Oop. I'm going to put that on new. This should be a new part. It shouldn't merge with the other part. Accept, and then I'm going to rename this the frame side. Now, a nice thing now that I've got two parts here to do is in this feature menu where I'm keeping track of the sketches and features I've done, I can actually create folders and organize my sketches and extrusions and features under folders so I remember exactly which ones go to which part. So I could say frame end, and then sketch 1 and sketch 2, I held down shift while I selected both of those. I can drag those and put them inside the folder called frame end, and I'm going to kind of drag that and put it above sketch 2 because I want it to be in order. And then I'm going to start a new folder. This will be called frame side, and I will select both of those, drag them into that folder. This will make my browser a little neater looking. I won't have as many things. At least I can kind of collapse all my sketches, extrusions, holes, etc. They'll be in there, but I can kind of condense that into the parts that I built, so I find that very handy. Now, I don't have to build these parts twice. In the Part Studio, I'm building them once each. If I need two end pieces right in the assembly, we'll just bring the end piece in twice and kind of rotate it, move it into position. So that is the end of building that part and just cleaning up my Part Studio. Oh, that was not the end of building the part. We have to add the holes. So I'm going to start a sketch on this face right here, and those holes I'm going to use the point tool, and I'm going to align to the midpoint here and the midpoint here. And that's it. I'm just locating the midpoint on each of those. And the drawing sheet should confirm that that is in the middle. And then I'm going to use the hole tool right here. The diameter, I believe, was 3/16, which is 0.1875, or you can type in 3/16. And then the depth was 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to go select the points that represent where I should be drilling the holes. Just like that. It should be on blind hole so that it doesn't go all the way through. Now we're done building the part.